What's Dewey?
It's the base. LOSO__G.
Deacon, the engineer.
That boy.
Yo, I've been wanting to bring this up, son. I saw Messiah. Definitely watch that shit, bro.
Check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. It's
So you're watching that.
So what is it on? And like explain
Yeah,
it.
It's on
go ahead.
Netflix.
Explain before I jump in you.
Before what?
I'll jump in your selection of shows to watch and not watching anything else that's recommended for me.
But that shit was good, bro. Like, so it's a show about politics, faith, religion, and it's set in like present time. And they have this one character that obviously is kind of like being seen as like a messiah figure. But the whole thing, it's just kind of like the way they go about it. It's the way it's produced. It's very like you can't really definitively say whether he's a messiah or not. You don't know whether it's tricks or not. And you get me? So like that's the or at least like I'm assuming when I went into it, I was like, is this real or not? And it'll leave you at the end still wondering, or at least to me, whether it's real or not. But it's just interesting because it's like the whole idea of like, what if somebody came by, and they claim to be they didn't even claim it actually. It's interesting because it's just them going through stuff, just speaking like their word.
Yeah.
Things that are actually very, very deep, because you can imagine anything that has biblical references is going to be super, super deep. But there's three main things three main groups. There's the CIA. There's two main characters from there. Then there's the main guy that the Messiah guy, and then there's a family in the United States. So it's kind of like how they kind of react to this character coming into being, coming into power. And yeah, there's just a lot of like little deep notes that they talk about. The monologues are fucking deep as fuck. It's pretty good, man.
I'm gonna check it out.
Recommend that shit.
I'm gonna check it out. Have you watched anything, sir?
No.
How about good books?
Good books. I'm reading Heads I Win, Tails I Win by Spencer Jacob. It's like it's a book on not necessarily just investing, but like from what I gather so far, the psychological reasons why people like don't make money, why they underperform the market. Just certain biases. For example,
You still trying to scheme the game?
No, there's no scheming.
Trying to scheme the market?
There's no scheming
You should
involved.
take a random walk down Wall Street and then you.
Oh, I like the reference.
See if
I like the
if
reference.
you're gonna be able to cheat.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say another book. Oh shit. So I don't know. I'm like maybe a third into it. It's really good. I haven't read anything that I don't know as of yet, but it's like going through why people underperform the market, why people think they could time the market, how they have all these weird strategies or psychological biases that keep people from, making money over the long term. It's interesting. I like it. I like, reading things like that. It's like basically things I've read before, but from a new perspective.
Yo, I don't think I'd be able to finish that book, bro. But I like when you tell me about that shit.
It's actually easy to read.
I don't like read notes. I like when people tell me about it, so I don't have to read it myself, and I can just kind of
like the summaries are interesting. I think I've tried to read some of the books, and they're just like real. Like sometimes the examples drag on too long, but.
And the thing is like I always had this thing where you like had to finish books, and I realized you don't necessarily have to finish a book. Like if you absorbed what you've wanted from the book, and you feel like you need to move on, it's okay.
I wish I could just read by putting my hand on the book.
Bro, that's
called lazy as fuck.
No, that would be a ridiculous superpower if you
I would just touch mad books.
Like here.
Exactly, and then you just absorb all the information. That might backfire.
Yeah.
Reading women?
Because the book isn't supposed to make sense.
Yeah, you're gonna go crazy. He's gonna be like Professor X. He's like,
Charles!
It makes no sense, Charles.
Aside from that, how have you guys been? What you been up to?
Just chilling, B.
Just podcast shit.
Yeah, man.
Good, man.
Podcast.
Just working. Training. Speaking of like training, like just in general. Like, have you ever gotten to, like, flow? Like, when you're doing something that you enjoy and everything just clicks?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You just hit it like a...
It's like a state of...
Ultra instinct?
Of mind? Yeah,
almost, yeah. It's like you're just... Whether you're having fun or you're doing something, you're just in the zone where you're just, like, clicking. That's how I got into that zone yesterday.
while doing your...
Yeah, while training. It was, and it's a good feeling, like, afterwards, like, damn, like,
They killed that shit. I got into the flow when I was playing beer pong.
Hey.
Of course
I was fucking shit
You're not...
up. I'm that
good. Was I good at beer pong back in the day?
No, you weren't.
I knew I wasn't.
No, you weren't. You know why I got good at beer pong? I'll tell you the story.
Oh, I thought I
So
was.
I went to state college with my friend Garrett and Paris, and then we went to our first game, and we're like, how hard could this be? All we gotta do is like hold the ball and kind of chuck it into the cup. This shouldn't be hard. So they were like, yo, here are the rules. If you don't get a cup at all, naked mile. If you don't, which I didn't understand what that meant, but I was like, I can hit a cup. It's like 9 of these shits. I can hit one of these fucking cups. And it was us, me and Gary against these two girls. So I'm like, all right, cool. So they're like, yo, you go first. And I was like, easy. No naked mile for me. But every time you hit a cup, you got to drink. That's basically the rules of beer pong.
Every time you hit a cup?
Every time you make a cup with your ball, you get your ball in the cup, you got to drink the cup. So I shoot. Completely miss. I didn't even know. It was like it went too far. I didn't hit anything, bro.
Man.
I didn't hit the table.
You must have looked. Was
I didn't hit
everyone
the
else there
table.
white except for y'all three?
The girls we were going with, one was black, one was white. And then Garrett shot, and then he hit the girl. Like he.
Was this everybody's first time? Like what the hell?
She
Bro, yeah,
deserved
it was me and Garrett's first time, but the two girls were housing the table. But so when we went on the table, it was like in a kind of flirty like, and it was like, nah. You lose, you strip, you run. If every cup we hit, you drink. Like they was like real strict with the rule. And we're like, yo, this is nothing. Talking about we black, we play basketball. It's like
We
my
play
nigga.
basketball.
So I missed my first shot. Garrett missed the second shot. I swear to you, they hit 6 cups in a row, bro.
That's crazy.
So I'm looking at the cups, and I'm looking at our cups, and I'm like, nah. So I shoot again, completely miss. Let's get Garrett shoot. He hit her again. So I'm like, damn. So I'm looking at them like, they're like, yo, naked mile. Everybody took a naked mile. So now people are surrounding the table, like watching the game.
They want to know if it's true what they say.
So I was like, yo, I just started rubbing my dick like,
cold
nah,
outside.
I'm not going out with a soft cock, bro. I gotta take this naked mile. I gotta run with a hard dick, bro. I can't take this L, bro. I can't take this L. So they shot. So now we're down to one cup. They have 9 full cups of beer we haven't shot into yet, and we only got 1. So I'm sweating bullets, bro. Sweating bullets. Left hand in my pants trying to get my dick out. Like I can't look crazy in this naked mile, bro. So I took 2 steps to the right, and I shot it, and then it hit the first cup, and I was like, thank you. Whole crowd dispersed. The girls beat us, and then me and Gary went to the person we were staying. We went to their house. Had a whole montage of just beer pong playing all day.
Practicing?
All day, right? We go back to the party because they had a party. At UP they have parties back to back. We go back to the party on Saturday. It was at the Vario or whatever.
Yeah, of course. That's where you're gonna party hop.
Went back to the party, ready to fucking play, headbands on and shit, ready to play some fucking beer pong. So the girl we go back to play the girls again. Mind you, we came late because we was practicing all day. The girl raises her hand to shoot the ball, falls back, get a concussion.
Oh my god.
Instant concussion.
That's crazy.
Instant concussion. And then hospital was called, party was shut down. And
that's crazy.
My montage was it was a fucking waste.
I mean,
those skills never went to waste.
How do you... I mean, you can get CT from playing beer pong, I guess.
She had blood on her brain. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I felt like I had it that night. I was like, yeah, I got her tonight.
I guess you did. She forfeited.
She said like this. She said like this. And dropped, bro. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Fell through a door.
That sucks. That's a forfeit.
I mean, that's a win in mine.
Yeah, it's a win in your book.
Naked mile.
Did y'all play after?
No, the party got shut down, bro. That was it.
The fuck, you think she's in the hospital with a neck brace? Like,
yeah, we went home after that.
You didn't all have to go. I guess that's fine.
Yeah, so I was in the flow, to say the least. This weekend when I played beer pong at my friend's event, felt really good. Smoking everybody. You see me play.
I just don't.
I'm dangerous.
Are you really?
I'm pretty dangerous.
Are you really that good?
I'm pretty dangerous.
I don't remember you being good.
oh damn.
I'm pretty dangerous.
I don't think we party few and far between at college.
I remember Bill being really good because we had that Pong tournament in.
That'd be fucking good.
Well, we had that.
Right, with the table?
We had that Pong tournament
With the table down?
in the original in the dorms. It wasn't like beer pong, but it was just like because obviously they're not gonna.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I forgot who we lost to. We made it to the finals, but I forgot who we lost to.
Was it? Did they only do it that year? Because I think I remember.
I don't know.
My friend LaRocca and his roommate, or his friend winning.
Yeah, so they must have been the ones that
I
beat
don't know
us.
if that was the year before the year.
I don't know.
I just remember the Caucasian people used to go really hard and like it'd fall over the floor and dive for the
It's
ball.
not
and all that
regulation,
shit.
bro. I only play regulation.
Yeah,
bro.
it's
No,
like,
regulation.
Shut the fuck up. This is the fucking ESPN.
Yeah,
like,
it was pretty bad.
People used to take that shit on D serious.
It was pretty bad.
I remember when I used to boom people when they used to throw the shot.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh,
It's
to
like,
distract them?
Boom, yeah, it'd be like it's like boom, boom, and then it's just right when they throw boom.
The defensive.
Yeah, the defense.
Defensive beer pong. Anything been grinding you guys' gears lately? We used to do that segment and we stopped. We used to do grind our gears. Not grind our gears per se, but we used to do what's been bothering us.
Yeah.
And we used to do how was our weekend. So what's been bothering you guys? Nothing? You guys are
Nothing.
carefree fucking living.
It's not carefree living, but there's nothing that stands out. Like, damn, that's like.
You guys are nothing that stands out living.
I feel too busy to really give a fuck right now.
You guys are too busy to give
Man,
a
I'm
fuck
in a flow,
living.
bro. I'm in a flow. I'm
Ooh,
just banging.
he's
you
in
in
a
the flow?
permanent
Oh,
flow
I'm
state.
in a flow.
We're gonna call it that, the
I'm
flow.
super saying.
Like you know the
episode.
beginning of the
Remember when they
Matrix.
came out that hyperbolic time chamber, and they were just super saiyan the whole time, and people couldn't believe it. That's me right now. So.
Now you know what was fire to me? You know what's fire to me in shows? For The Matrix, is when Neo got up and then he started fucking fighting a nigga with the one
Yeah.
hand and then
Yeah, that was
That shit
sick.
dope.
that was a fire moment. I think other than that, I don't really care. I can't think of no other off the top of my head, no other movies that personify
Just
flow.
being in the flow state.
Just being in the flow state.
Yeah, I mean any
Give me another
kung
one,
fu
give me another
any
one.
kung fu
What
movie.
about Limitless? Isn't that whole fucking movie about
Yeah.
taking drugs and being in a flow?
It was I didn't I guess.
Any kung fu movie.
Give me one.
Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, I was just about to say Enter the Dragon.
Or no, even better yet, any Jean Claude Van any Jean Claude Van Damme movie. Because at the end of the movie,
eyes.
when he always fights the final bad guy, he's usually getting fucked up, and then he usually has some memory, some revelation or something, and then he just calms down, and then he's just in the zone. They'll throw a punch, and he'll just like casually just like shit that was fucking him up 5 seconds earlier.
dodging
He's
the
just
shit.
like.
I know fucking mad anime got mad in the flow moments.
Bleach.
I feel like anime lives in the flow moments, bro.
And one thing
They're so unrealistic.
one thing about anime, whenever I watch it,
But
it's
they
like
give you
they abuse like cinematic time. Like they
Oh,
abuse
dude.
that shit. Like 10 seconds will be
did.
3 episodes. It's like
I don't get what's this shit with the goggles, B.
What goggles?
On
their head?
Like everybody rocking the goggles
On their
and
head,
shit
right?
Like
And
that.
they don't even use
And
it.
they love soccer.
They don't even practically use it. Like
Yeah, it's not even functional.
yeah, I don't know. It's just certain aesthetic,
it
different
looks
mediums.
cool. Yeah, it looks cool. It just doesn't look cool in real life.
It's crazy because it always looks cool as a drawing, but imagine seeing somebody walking like
Looks
that
stupid.
down the street. That looks
Stupid
Fucking
as
idiot.
fuck.
You walk away from
They
them.
look stupid as fuck, bro. Anybody just like an anime character look crazy. No matter what character you dress as.
Yeah,
fucking
they're
crazy.
they're just like
There's no
colorful
normal
homeless
chilling.
people.
Yeah, there's no normal chilling fucking anime character.
Something bothering you?
This is what I was talking to you guys off air. Financial dependence. So I feel like I've backed myself into a state of financial dependence based on the expenses I have in regards to my career, my vehicle, and my graduate school. And I feel like I'm not constantly where it's like daily, but I've more often than not reached out to people for guidance, or not even guidance, for help in the financial area.
So, like,
and I don't
What do you
want
mean
to.
by financial dependency?
Where I have to depend on somebody else to secure a bill for me or secure a payment for me, just to continue to stabilize myself throughout my living what's it, living
situation.
Yeah, living situation.
So the dollars going out are more than the dollars coming in.
Right.
Okay.
That's what's been.
Do you know why?
I drink too
That's
much,
okay.
and I go out to restaurants often, and I'm not gonna stop that for anybody. No, I'm playing. No.
No, he was dead serious.
It's a trap. No,
He was
because
dead serious.
I definitely am guilty of
I was
going
gonna say
out
what it
too
really
much
was.
and eating out too much at restaurants.
Right.
Like, my man, that's not like a you thing. I right now have that same exact problem.
Yeah.
You get me? And it's just like...
I'm slowing the fuck down though, bro. I'm slowing down now. Like all that going out shit, I'm putting a stop.
I don't know if I slowed down.
I don't know
Or I
about the
just
drinking,
started
I ain't
making more
doing
money. And I think it's a combination of really both.
It's
Lifestyle.
lifestyle inflation. It's like the more money you make,
The more you want to do.
you feel like you have to spend and you have to adjust your lifestyle according to the money coming in. So
My grad school bill also got higher, so that's like really fucking.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what made you start thinking about this shit right now? Is it just like taxes and shit coming around? Like, what was good?
Oh, the
it's like
dependency?
he doesn't have money. That's
Right, like,
that's what brings it up. He don't have money.
Bro, December
The
and
holiday,
January
son.
fucked me up, bro. I never felt so stabbed in the pockets until mid December, and then
Because
like
it's the holidays, fuck you up.
and then the holidays came around, a lot of birthdays came around, and a lot of like, I also my car, I had an incident with my car got hit, so I got to pay for that on top of that shit.
Was this at Garrett?
What? No. Did he hit it?
Oh god.
that day? No. So my car got hit on top of all of that. So it's like, yo, expense after expense. Then I had to pay for school because school came back around and they was like, yo, we need more than we would usually get because you're black. So it's like, this shit is getting mad difficult now. And I'm like, yo, where this money's, they're draining me, bro.
You know,
fucking crazy.
But I think about that like all the time now, and I guess, I don't know. I just try to make sure I can keep myself busy. Like, I try to think about how to fill my time so that I'm not, like, filling my time on something that's costing a lot.
Oh, we noticed.
What?
We be in a group chat like, yo, I made a car that says the bass on it. We gonna drive it on Saturday and Sunday. Goddamn. Just making
That
shit,
ass,
bro.
B. I just trying to
I'm like, damn, am I not producing? We
mean, that's-
flying through it, bro.
I mean, that's a good thing. It's good to, build on something that doesn't necessarily.
Fix my
possible.
financial dependency, Edwin.
Yeah, all of us with your money.
Right?
That's really how I want
No,
you to fix it.
That's what this podcast
That's the
is
worst. That's the worst
Pay
remedy.
my bills.
What's the
That-
worst remedy?
That's the worst remedy.
For who?
For who?
For your
I
account?
mean, for
You look like you
For your
have enough.
accountant?
for everyone involved. Think about it. It's
my
like
fucking
what
bill.
Not for me.
what keeps a crackhead alive? The fact that he doesn't have money. You give him too much money, he overdoses and dies.
Well, I don't do crack.
Are you calling me a crackhead, bro?
Yes.
I don't do crack.
No, I'm talking shit, bro. But
I can't overdose on water.
Pussy.
what?
I don't know.
Can you overdose on vagina? Yes, you can. You can overdose on anything, right?
What do you mean overdose?
You mean like overdose? Like
You mean
from
become
out your mouth?
addicted?
No, like they say, what is it? What's it saying? Too much of one thing, too much of a good thing is bad. Too much of anything is a bad
I think
thing.
it
something
depends
like
more
that?
on how it affects. Like
If you drink too
other
much
parts
water,
of
you
your life.
die. If you smoke too much weed, you can die. If you
No, you don't.
Well, you'll pass out
pass
before
out?
you can't smoke too much weed.
If you,
You'll pass out.
if you drink
I
too much,
wonder
you
if
can
you can
die.
take-
Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
A brownie strong enough that like yo, son, because those brownies be scary, bro. I don't fuck with brownies.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you
just
born-
it's a,
like, you
diff-
feel
it's
me?
a
Like, if you
different
take a
type of
brownie
high.
that's strong enough that
It'll
it'll
take
like,
your whole head off.
like it'll just put you in a
It'll
coma.
take
Yeah,
your whole fucking head off.
Yeah.
Spin your shit off.
But yeah, when it comes to like the dependency or any sort of thing, it's like whoever's helping the other person is just empowering them to make their own decisions. No one can solve it for you. Like anyone who says, "Oh yeah, I can come and solve your problems," they're probably full of shit because no one solves another person's problems like that. They just empower you, give you
Unless they
information to
want
do
sex.
so.
You know what I think we need though?
Sex.
Another finance.
I mean,
that's gonna help
finance.
schema for us.
I could, but you
finance
know,
what?
Another finance friend
To help scheme.
To help scheme for us.
Oh, help scheme. I mean, we could scam. Also, I was telling you guys about the lady I met this week, and she kind of dived into training the brain to ask questions in a particular way where you're pushing not just yourself, but the person you're speaking to. So what she does is like,
Pushing for why? For what purpose?
For any purpose, just to have that person think.
Okay.
So instead of asking like a what question where you can give me immediate answers, I would ask you a process question where you have to think about the process behind what you did.
Okay.
Or a purpose question where you have to think about the purpose behind what you did. And with that process, we then grow each other. Because we're
specifically how?
I can give you an
growth
example.
specifically how?
Well, you're doing it now. You're doing it now because now I got to think about how we will grow each other with.
No, I understand.
said inquiry.
What's
Maybe
what's
it's being more
the
intentional
point?
with your question?
Right, it's being more intentional and having more of a purpose with your question.
Yo, and I don't know if this is what you're getting at, but I do feel like a lot of times people go into like automatic mode and ask the questions that they think that they should ask.
Right, without
For the sake
really
of asking,
having.
like, does this shit really matter?
Right.
I mean, that's
or
just
asking without purpose.
Or maybe
That's-
even getting information, because I'm thinking specifically from sales, because I came from the sales angle at first, and I used to have to ask questions in specific ways to get specific answers out of people or to guide the conversation to make sure it moves to motherfucking buy.
What you need. Yeah.
that makes sense. I mean, it's just heuristics, which is just like the process of
Don't even-
us.
Spell that for me. HUER.
But anyway,
HURI. No, for real. HURISTICS.
He's not Siri, bro.
I'm trying to view it. I'm trying to view the word because he said heuristics.
yes, heuristics.
All right, I gotta look it up.
HEUR.
HURISTICS.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. I've never heard that word.
Spelling bee.
I should fuck my word up. Fuck my day up just now.
But basically, it's just like we have shortcuts and we operate on shortcuts. So, I mean, we wouldn't be able to function otherwise. Like, it's not possible for us to consider every little thing all the time, you know. So it does make sense that she brings that up because it stops people, it gets people out of that loop, you know, to think more critically, ask more, you know, pertinent questions, things like that.
That's her goal, is critical thinking and designing critically. Mm-hmm. Where you're pushing people to kind of always... So, I'm going to put it like this. She's like, people are a text. Everything is a text. This is a text. That's a text. Don't look at text as just words on paper. Look at everything around you as text. Like the Matrix. You see how you see these black and... Yeah, you see how you see these binary...
That's how I see everything.
As a text or as black and green?
I see
That's when you're in the zone.
Forces, vectors. That's how I see all of you.
Are you being serious or are you just joking?
No, vectors is definitely how I tend to see how things move, like and interact with one another.
That's very interesting.
But that's just because physics ingrained that in me. So
What's a vector for the
That's
people?
interesting as fuck,
it's
bro.
something with a magnitude and direction.
Mm-hmm.
So,
What's the
like
magnitude?
velocity would have a magnitude, whether that be 10 miles per hour, and a direction, and that would be denoted by positive or negative.
Mm-hmm.
But speed is just a fucking number.
So you're basically saying that if you don't see this person going nowhere, that you're
just
like
think they're in a
this
state of
person
zero.
is shot. Yeah. All right, so go back to what she was saying. She said everything is a text, and with that being said, that everything is a text, all text can be revised. We as humans are text, so we can always be revised for the better, and we can always grow. So she blew my mind. I was like, that's it's fucking fine. I always thought people were a text, but I never dived into the simplicity you can apply to yourself to apply to other people, where you're just viewing people and you're saying this can be better, or you can be better, or your quality is up to par, but you can have better quality, you know. So what I'm trying to do more often is like ask questions in which I'm probing more process, more purpose, and kind of like having more conversation around that instead of like saying what, why, how, I don't understand, that's stupid, I don't agree. Like instead of having surface level conversations, you're kind of diving deeper into their analysis and their judgment of what's going on around them and who they are. So that's kind of where my head has been since the conversation with her. Well, it's been like that for a while, but I didn't put a purpose to it until she spoke about it, and I was like, wow, I've been doing that, but I just never could think of what it was that I was doing.
What context? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, man.
Context?
No, I was like, what context, you know, is this person coming from? Are they like a coach? Are they like a team leader? Like what's the context?
Yeah.
She's a practice consultant, I would say. She's speaking directly to our practice, but a lot of what she speaks to our practice can influence our lives.
So she
Speaking to our teacher practice.
So what is her goal?
To have us live in critical design thinking.
Okay, and what's like what I'm trying to get at? I'm just curious as to I'm guessing
I want you to meet her actually.
Your workplace hired her.
Yeah, she's been with us for a while.
Okay, so you guys hired her. Why did management hire her, or what do you think their purpose is for having her there?
To further align us with the practice of our job. To further align us with the idea of the practice that our job entails. The mantra, so to speak.
Which is?
Oh, I would have to read that shit. It's not long. It's like liberation.
I'm just trying to think, man.
Stuff.
Because
I'm gonna try and get you to meet her, that boy, and then
it's like,
and then we can go from there. You know, I'm the middleman. I'm always good with trying to get people to meet people. So, I think if you meet her, you'll see what I'm referring to. Just like how when you met D, you was like, oh, okay. I think it's around the same.
Yeah. Okay.
If D's Morpheus, she's the Oracle.
Okay.
Look at the smile on his face. He's like, he's waiting for the
the acknowledgement. He's like, oh
You
yeah,
get it.
I've seen that movie.
Yeah, a lot of Matrix references in this.
But yeah, that's interesting. Bringing in consultants. I mean, that's interesting that they're. I just find it interesting that they're bringing someone in to, basically to sharpen your critical thinking, but at the same time try to have you buy into the message that they want you to operate in, or the paradigm, or whatever it is. I wonder if just having that, just having the awareness that, we're thinking critically now. I'm asking why questions. I'm thinking more about, what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I wonder if that's going to make people question the mission of what you guys are doing. Like, I wonder.
Backfire, right?
I mean, not necessarily backfire. Maybe for management, but I'm just saying,
you give them the apple.
I just think that's interesting because it's like, I'm not necessarily saying it applies to your job in particular, but it's like, okay, let's bring in this person that's going to help us think critically, and we also want them to buy into our message, but maybe them thinking critically will have them scrutinize the message. I don't know. Maybe, it might be a good thing because it could be sort of like a bottom-up thing where you guys kind of get together and be like, okay, I like the message, but this is how we can improve on it.
This just reminds me of when I was teaching, and I'm not going to lie. I don't know how I feel about that.
Go ahead, speak your
Mainly
piece.
because it's just like, what was when I was teaching, man, there was so many fucking problems that needed more immediate attention. And like a lot of times the workshops and things like that and consultants really, like, they didn't really help out with immediate problems. And there was more like, it felt more like we were just putting on a play, if that makes sense.
That's facts. That's big facts.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, not that the intentions were bad. Because there was, I remember we had some consultants that had to do more with like, I don't know, being mindful and shit like that. And I went to one of the actual seminars after, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. It was more like about like just trying to look at the positive things on life, which I get is good. But I was just like, yo, we have so many more other problems. Like, why are we focusing on these things? And I don't know, I don't go to your school, but I don't know, man. It's just after leaving, man, teaching really left a sour. Like, admins, bro, just like, I feel a type of way about admins. Because it's just like, I feel like there's probably a billion things you could think of that money could have been used more useful for, maybe more immediate problems that could have been solved with that. I think it's just like sometimes we do, I feel like, a lot of these things that are really just putting on a show because it's just like, maybe they don't really result in something actionable in a sense, you get me? Like, maybe you'll change the way you speak for, like, a day, but then you go back. You know what I mean?
It depends. Because I walked out saying I want to warp my brain to this idea of process and critical thinking.
Yeah.
I can view other people leaving saying, yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
agree with you with what you're saying. Like some people would just leave like, yo,
But then it feels like college, right? College is like you can make the most of it. It can
Or
be
you
a
could
great
just
thing.
like,
You
fuck
can
it.
just coast.
and I think more people are just like, yo, coasting like, yo,
Yeah.
nah.
yeah. I mean,
I wonder if I would do anything different if I ran a school. You know, like no, I know I would, but
it's different because so speaking on what you just said, it's like particularly when you're dealing with institutions, troubled institutions that are very top down, hierarchical, and then there's a lot of problems going on. There's always an incentive to like.
Not saying we are like that, but institutions outside of us and
I mean, just saying like educate like schools in general, like a lot of schools, public schools, government institutions, large corporations. If there's an issue, there's always some sort of push to address it. So it's like, let's bring in this consultant. Let's just do this thing so we can say that we've done something about this problem.
Right.
You know, rather than it actually benefiting the problem itself. Even though I do think it's good, like
Yeah.
I think it's good to have that, but like you said, it's better to go for the root problems. I find it funny that they brought in someone to have people look in like the positive side of life, given that you're in like a public school and that shit sucks a lot of times. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh yeah, just look at the positive. Like we don't have any money. You know,
Yeah,
school's
we're broke.
fucked up,
We're
but don't
struggling.
worry about it. Like.
you know
That's
what's interesting? There's a video I came across a little while back that showed that teachers in the U.S. spend significantly more time teaching, actual like instructional teaching in the classroom compared to like other developing countries and the other countries that score like really really high. Like where we spend the majority of the time in instruction, a lot of other schools have a better balance, or they spend more time prepping than they do actual instruction, which I think makes more sense because it's just like if you're gonna be teaching more, that means you have more kids, more exams, more of everything to grade. So it's just like, how the fuck are you gonna manage that shit, son?
that's true.
Yeah,
Especially when score is the focus.
it's a big problem because it's like you would assume that the basic role of having, and I'm just speaking of like public education because private institutions could do whatever they want, right? Like public schools, there's just so many pieces. Like you have teachers unions, you have the municipalities, whatever. You have like you have the parents, you have PTA, like you have so many people putting in so much input who all have their own agendas that is really hard to like get shit done.
And public education started to teach factory workers.
I was
It
gonna
was
say
just
that.
created to make us work. And
I
I
like-
think we want something different. Like society kind of evolved.
Yeah. I was gonna dive into that as well. My the place I'm at right now is focused on liberation through economic relevant pedagogy, cultural relevant pedagogy, critical thinking, visualizing, verbalizing, inquiry. All the works. But the main thing they're trying to push into our students' head is that the schooling system they have now is just to make you a cog, just to make you fit into. Pick my food here. Make you fit into a piece of this puzzle of just work and do what you gotta do. Whereas, like, we gotta break out of that shit. Keep on. I gotta go. Food.
I feel like it's only gonna be done little by little.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a genuine initiative. I think society as a whole has to decide what exactly they want and why they want it.
Sometimes I wonder if maybe that's the problem. We're way too concerned with society. Maybe thinking about society like as a whole in regards to things that aren't immediately around us are definitely important. But I feel like sometimes we get too distracted from the things that are immediately around us because we're focusing too much on things hundreds, thousands of miles away that don't necessarily affect us on a day-to-day.
Absolutely.
But it's more like news is really about entertainment, not really about information.
Oh, that's a whole nother, news is a whole nother thing that's about to get in the weeds.
Yeah,
It's so much.
I just said that sometimes I feel like, I know we're talking about education. Whatever, I don't give a fuck. I don't feel like repeating it. I don't need to repeat it.
No, but in general, it's like I just find it interesting just watching because I know a lot of educators and it's like they all feel like they put their heart into it and they feel like they do good on maybe an individual level or in a specific situation, but they like the consistent thing is that the system is fucked up
Are you
like
talking about heaven?
on some
Are you talking about heaven? No.
Maybe.
who knows? If it exists, who knows? You know? There's mad religions, bro.
I got into that conversation as well about religion and people's reservations behind it. So, and this is why I try not to have that conversation with, no offense, but like surface level thinkers who get offended when certain conversations happen.
Yeah.
And when I say surface level, I mean like when you are brought a topic that disrupts your previous identity of yourself, you then become emotion. You then you react to your own emotion, and your anger, changes your mindset toward the person you're speaking to.
Yeah.
Or your
I'm cut off completely.
or your sadness changes your thought. You know what I'm saying. So basically, I asked the person, like, what makes you believe in that? Like, what makes you believe in that religion? And there wasn't really it was like because I can or because I do, or like it wasn't really a response. And then they were like, oh, you don't believe in religion, so what do you believe in? Like, when you talk down on somebody, like, oh, so what do you believe in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, yo, this is why I don't have these conversations, because it's like, I'm really just trying to probe your understanding and your existence. It's very touchy.
Because people associate it so much with their cultural identity.
I heard some quote that was like,
It is.
religion is like all the risk with all the reward and no loss.
Yeah, but I mean, even, I don't know. Like, just when talking that in general, it's like, I try not to have in-depth conversation that isn't trolling. That isn't trolling, because I'll troll the shit out of someone who's
being a dick.
Who's a surface level thinker. I'll troll the shit out of someone because it's funny to me. But like,
that's what we're calling idiots from now on.
They're
surface level thinkers.
But it's like, when it comes to deeply held beliefs, we all have beliefs that aren't rational, right?
100%.
That aren't completely rational. So we all, in some sorts, have some sort of, we're all prone to religious thinking.
It's funny, in the show Messiah, he specifically mentions that.
No,
he was like,
it's true.
You worship money, it's not even real. It's just like, and he just like, was just talking, and he pretty much got at the same thing. It's just like, we all worship something.
We're all prone to religious thinking, but it's the acknowledgement that what I believe is irrational is what makes a difference, right? Like, I can talk to a religious person, and they can believe what they believe. There's nothing wrong with believing anything you want, as long as you're able to have a conversation, challenge your own beliefs, not necessarily come to a middle ground, because there's nothing wrong with having a set opinion, right? But just being able to talk about it in a mature way, and then recognize when your beliefs aren't completely rational, because a lot of our beliefs aren't completely rational. I mean, just asking what is a rational belief is going into like philosophy that's like too deep. But
cosmos
like,
and all that, and why you are you and who you are.
But like,
what makes you you?
But like, just people who can have a mature conversation. Because if you can't, you're getting trolled. Like, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
How'd that shit go yesterday?
The event?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so there was a... man, it sounds bad. There was a keg purchased. And
why does it sound bad? You got a fucking keg.
I don't drink, bro.
That's right. Okay, keep going.
So there was a keg purchased. And a lot of people showed up to drink the things that aren't keg. They drink everything, all the alcohol, but nobody touched the keg.
That's weird.
Not many people like beer.
That's not true. Lots of people like beer.
No, I agree. But the people that were at that event...
Oh, people who were there didn't like beer. Okay. I mean...
So, we didn't really get to hit the keg as hard as we wanted to hit it because...
Nobody did a keg stand?
There wasn't much of it. No keg
stand. What? No
keg stands used to be the best, bro.
You never did it?
We got a picture holding up.
You should have just picked someone up.
Our degrees. But
you should have just picked someone up and like fucking... Literally...
Yeah, nobody did keg. Yeah, I remember going to parties where kegs would get emptied.
Yeah.
Like
multiple kegs.
The largest size keg.
Multiple.
empty, bro. And now we can't even finish this baby-sized ass.
Pussies. Bunch of fucking pussies,
baby
bro.
ass keg.
Incels.
But
What?
surface
But
level
yeah.
fucking nah. But it was a good event either way. I was housing the beer pong table. There was a lot of conversation around personal priorities, personal choices. We didn't really dive into anything heavy, but it's just interesting to meet new people and see everybody's perspective on certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so why'd y'all get together? Just to fucking drink? How the hell did y'all get into
Literally.
the conversation?
That's exactly what happened. Well, I'll tell you what type of
Yeah,
time.
smoking? Like, what the hell?
No. I'll tell you what type of time I'm on. So anybody I get in a conversation with, I'm going into the hows and the whys.
You go around.
I don't have unless I'm trying to like.
These Converse.
Unless I'm trying to like troll you or waste my time with talking to you.
No Smash Brothers, clearly.
I dive into the there was no Smash Brothers. But I dive into the hows and the whys. And me and Ed Boy played this game called Blockbuster Trivia, which is really fun, which focuses on movies.
Oh, you won?
We also played Taboo.
You won?
He went Saturday. He didn't go last night.
Oh, okay.
Last night was just
Okay.
interesting.
10-4.
Interesting. What made it interesting? Is this off air?
Yeah, it's an off air.
Okay.
It's an off air interest.
Okay. This will be on the Patreon. This will be the select episodes. You gotta pay for this.
Yeah, that'd be crazy if we did that.
I mean, people do it all the
Our
time.
lives are pay worthy, but the Saturday game night was fun.
Can't wait to throw another party. So.
Right, we need to do those more often.
I'm just fucking.
Where you just bring random people and just chill and talk. I think those are like when the best conversations happen,
Yeah, I like that.
especially around alcohol. But pushing values is like really my thing now. Like I really gotta ask people why.
I mean, it's good to ask
I
people
tell
why.
you from New York. Because y'all say
Axe. You
Instead
gotta
of
ask them why.
Oh, everybody from New York says axe. Yo, ask them about it, son.
I went to a job interview and I slipped up and said ask by accident, and he was like, "It's." And I was like, "I know it's ask."
What?
Oh,
They
really?
said that? I wouldn't want to work for that douchebag.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah,
fuck are we?
that's
What are we?
super pretentious.
Yeah, like,
oh,
who
it's
are you,
ask.
bro?
It's
Shut
ask,
the
bro.
fuck
No,
up,
no.
bro.
Yo, people that get annoyed with that
That's
shit,
super
I'm like,
pretentious.
that shit is stupid.
I like to correct people mid-sentence.
You're that dick? You're stupid, bro.
I'm not. I don't.
I mean,
Stupid.
I'll do
under
it to
my
troll
breath. I
people,
say it
but
under my
not in
breath.
any sort of serious setting. Like, I wouldn't really do it, like, for real. Like, that's crazy.
Look at you. Why you looking around?
I wouldn't really do it for a reliever.
Okay. Yeah, me neither. I've never done it for real.
Like they really
You know
have.
what I've noticed? You
Like,
misspelled.
Like they
there.
really have to, like if they really butcher something, like I'll take someone's side, like, yo, bro, like this is actually like
That's not what it means.
no, for real, like I'll do that, I'll be like, yo, like, but you don't do it in front of people, you don't want to like call them out, but like yeah, this is
I use auspicious wrong recently.
I don't even know what that is. So you could have said it in front of me.
auspicious.
Oh no,
No, I know.
Auspicious?
I said
I'm fucking
auspicious.
around.
I just used the word in the wrong sentence.
Oh, okay.
Please
wrong
tell me
context.
how you used it.
Well, auspicious means good.
He's like, it's auspicious outside today. The
I'm
temperature is.
auspicious about that guy. I don't
No,
like
that's
him.
how I said it.
Oh my god!
I said that guy's moving auspiciously. I don't know what's going on. And they were like, "Wait,
They're like,
what?"
he's moving goodly.
They were like, "Wait, what?"
Oh,
That's not what it
man.
means. They was like, "I think you're saying
Oh,
what it means."
man.
And I said,
How many
"It means
people
like
was this
suspect,
in
right?"
front of?
It was just my two close friends who would put me in like a really.
Like,
They
whoa,
would
it's,
call me out for it.
it's hot. It's real auspicious outside.
It's really auspicious outside. Oh man! And they were like, "I don't think you're saying that."
Yo,
And I was like,
yo,
"Oh,
that
shit."
meal was so good. It's auspiciously good.
I said, "Yo, that's not what it means." I was like, "No," and I use which one call it? There's another word that I used wrong that I thought meant something. Is that fine? It's when you pay really close attention to something,
Okay.
and the word I said it means small.
When you're looking for the minute details,
Minute,
Was it minute?
real
maybe.
tiny.
I think I'm gonna tell you what it was. and you're gonna be like, "Oh shit." Yeah, you
He's gonna
fucked
be
up.
like sandwich, like something completely
Nah.
unfucking.
That was a witch made of sand.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you the word, but I forgot what that shit was. But I said it, and they were like, "That's not."
Like,
what-"
ooh.
Yo, so think about how many words you use.
And people just let me
Trying to
rock.
look all fucking fancy.
That people either let me rock or didn't
and yo,
or
people
didn't know
must be
themselves.
Like, yo, this fucking idiot.
I think it's the other way around. I think people were just running with it.
Because they didn't know the word either. Like me, like auspiciously. I was like, so
Yeah,
he
he
looks
is moving
suspicious
like that.
too.
He
He
does
looks
look-
awfully suspicious.
That's what I thought. It's just auspicious
funny.
back.
It's slang, motherfucker.
I thought it was awfully suspicious. I thought it was suspicious, but a little higher. Auspicious. Nope, that been good. I was like, oh.
Oh.
Sorry. Damn, I wish I could remember the word now. It's a small word too.
Pretty sure you know the word. It's just too embarrassed.
No. I really want to say it. It's a really small word, but it specifically means like it does not mean small. It does not mean small, but it means to look into something intricately. And I fucked that word up.
To look at, what did you thinking, man?
First off, my boss said it. My boss said the word. He was like, "Does anybody know what they're like blah 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 means?" And I was like, "Small."
Really?
And everybody laughed, and I was like, "Yeah, I got it right." And they were like, "No, it didn't."
No,
I was
man.
playing.
What was the point your boss is trying to make?
He's one of the people looking to go through their lesson plans with intricate detail.
Yo, I feel like that doesn't mean anything. What the fuck do you mean? No, because I used to get the same bullshit, and I used to call them out. I'd be like, "What do you
What
mean?"
does that mean? Yeah, give me an example.
That's what I used to fucking get.
They
Damn.
just
It's just fucking buzzwords, bro. Minute detail, looking into detail. I could do that shit. I'll be the principal if you fucking want me to.
They just keep saying,
Don't just say shit.
Just keep saying
That don't
words
make
and
fucking
shit.
sense. Colors are important too. You know, colors are all. My man, you're not fucking.
color these nuts. Like,
Gosh, man.
Fuck, I can't remember
Oh,
the word
man.
now. That was just even funnier.
that's funny.
Oh man.
Fucking. Yo, cause I get that shit out. Every job I've ever had, yo, it's like you gotta do it. You know, they always use buzzwords and shit like that. I'm like, none of this shit is real. Like, it's not gonna change anything or whatever.
Are you gonna figure out a way to get over your financial depression? Sorry, not depression. That's me. Are you gonna figure out a way to get over your financial dependency? And Ed Boy, if you could end this off.
I was just trying to
Cool ass.
get Edwin to.
pay your bills. Oh,
Yeah.
haven't paid this much, right?
Bro, I don't have money to pay other people.
Well, there is one thing that I definitely have been trying to do, which is kind of, I do overplan sometimes. I don't know. I just try to think of my. Honestly, I've had to look at like my time now in like months, like so many fucking plans that come up. Like I pretty much have the whole month booked. I don't know if like. I don't fucking know.
There's
man.
nothing wrong with that. I mean,
Just
some
fucking
people
going with
operate
the
like
flow.
that.
I'm just going with the flow, bro.
You know, some people operate better where their life is planned. Other people operate better more spontaneously. It's just finding where you're at.
I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I mean, the real solution is just cutting back on like expensive shit, or you know, things that are like continuously draining my thing. But
I'm gonna
easier
slow
said
down.
than done.
I'm gonna slow down on the outings,
That's good.
I think I will.
as well as the alcohol purchases. You don't think you will?
I can. There's certain the outings. I don't know, man. I don't really be going out like that anymore. I don't fucking know, bro. Cause it's just like sometimes when I think about the things that I want to cut off, I'm like, is it really? I don't know, man.
Like, is it worth it?
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm not buying bottles in the club with sparklers and shit.
Buying girls drinks.
I'm not buying. I'm not buying.
Oh
definitely
God,
not.
never that.
Definitely not.
Never that.
I'm not buying, or guys, I'm not buying. I buy a guy drink. I'm not buying. I'm not buying bottle packages or paying $20 or $50 to get into a club or anything like that. Where you're like, oh man, okay, so it'd be fucking food. I just be hungry, and I want top quality food because I just don't want to cook.
Like Taco Bell.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Think outside the bun, right?
Damn. Damn. Top
All
quality
these
food.
top quality taco spots.
Bro, you
around
need
here.
to see that lady
Hey,
and
man,
get
Taco
some
Bell.
critical thinking because your shit is confused.
Yeah,
Like, oh yeah, I want
That's
some.
the date.
Yo, some top quality food, Taco Bell. Like, bro. Like, you could have went to any other place. It would have been higher.
It's because I went.
But to answer your
I
question,
got nothing for that. Yeah, go ahead.
all I'm thinking is maybe just try to keep myself more busy.
Or stay the fuck home.
Nah,
It-
staying the fuck
I
home
mean-
doesn't do anything.
You spend more money when you stay home.
I'm gonna spend money regardless. It's just about like,
Yeah, you're right. Because I'm gonna buy a bottle.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to spend
Online.
my time productively.
Online.
Because it's just like
That's why I get Taco Bell because they deliver
Like,
bottles.
we're not gonna get this time back. So I'm just trying to, I don't know. Keep
Yeah,
busy.
I mean, it's just finding a balance of getting a lifestyle where you're comfortable, where you're enjoying yourself, and you're still building for the future and still saving. Like, and I mean, I think it's definitely possible. You know, it's just a matter of finding. It's just a matter of finding that place, and that journey will be different for everyone. So it's like, when someone will come up to me and be like, yo, make me a budget, it's like, I can't do that. I don't know what your priorities are. I don't know what you care about. I don't know what your, you know, what your inner, what your, you know, inner
your
demons
vices
are,
are,
what your
your
vices
cocaine
are.
vices.
what
You
your-
spend money on?
The things
yeah,
you
no,
really spend
basically,
money on.
and it's like, it's really up to the person, and, you know, I definitely believe, and this is just me, but like, I have all my basic needs met and then some, so it's like I don't really have an excuse to not have extra money, you know, unless some shit happens.
Building. That's the other thing, man. I just want to keep building.
When I learn more about it, I'm going to talk to you guys about cultural relevancy.
What do you mean?
That's all I'm going to leave you with.
Okay.
And that's the base.
Well, we're culturally relevant.
You would think so,
I know so.
but we
We
might not
cool
be.
anymore?
We don't need to
And
be
that's
cool.
the-
We don't need to be cool to be relevant.
Which ethnicity is in now? Crazy Rich Asians?
Yeah. Actually, I was going to say that. No, blacks are still killing it.
Okay.
I think the blacks are killing it right now.
I think the blacks are killing it.
The blacks are fucking it up.
blacks.
The blacks.
blacks
That's
are killing
funny.
But yeah. That boy, leave us off with a financial depression, you know.
I mean, honestly.
He got a
I got
poem.
this.
He got a poem.
Okay. Oh, whoa. Okay.
He got a poem
Here's
on.
the secret to life, everybody.
Okay.
Talk that shit.
Okay.
Make money, spend less.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And that's the bass. LOSO G.
DK.